Alrighty, welcome back everybody, Mechanical Mystery here, and today we are working on the Volvo. So we have a coolant leak on the reservoir. The high pressure cap on this failed. I took it into the dealership to have some work done on it. They did some work on it, and the mechanic that worked on it, he cross-threaded the cap, and it was hot when he did it, so when that happens you damage the plastic threads on there and it ruins them. So on these reservoirs here, this is your high pressure release. So you have your radiator cap there and you have your pressure release here. It's just the way they designed it on a plastic tank. And what happens with this one is when you tighten it down really hard when it's hot and you cross thread it, it damages these threads. And then what happens is you go to tighten it down and it just keeps on twisting. It just never tightens down as tight as it needs to be, and then it leaks all over the place, and then the side of your truck looks like this. So I don't know how well you guys can see all this, but it is just covered in the coolant. We've got a very large mess, not only to clean up, but we also have to get that radiator reservoir replaced. Now, if you're going to be doing this and you've got to remove the coolant from your system, one of the best things to do is get one of these. This is a quick connect that is for the bottom of your radiator. So if you got to drain the fluid, you can't siphon these reservoirs. Well, you can. It's a little bit of a pain, but there's a lot of plastic channels inside the radiator reservoir, so you can't just shove a hose down and suck it all out. No, there's a bunch of baffles and layers and plastic and whatnot in your way, so you can't get down into there. I wish it was that easily, but so what we have to do is to remove some coolant from the bottom of here, and there's a shield on there, and you either remove the shield and take a whole bunch of stuff off to get to that the valve and everything like that, or you can just use this and just kind of reach around it to be able to get underneath it. Alright, so here it is. This is where you hook this up to, and you run your hose into your bucket. Now, make sure you've released the pressure up top. I've done that, and then I put the cap back on to hold a little bit of a vacuum, because this system will fill this whole bucket and more. But we're going to try and see if we can pull it off before it gets to that point. We've got coolant. Little bit of it's pulling all the coolant out, so it's creating a little bit of a vacuum in there. But that's good because it's making it go nice and slow. Then we're gonna twist this. Oh, that's right. I put a bunch of gunk on there. In an attempt to seal that, I put a whole bunch of Flex Seal on there. So it looks like it just finished going out of the reservoir, which is good because I want it right about here. Remember, you got the radiator as well that is full, so a little bit will come back in there. But I just want it so I can take this hose off and not get any coolant spilling all over the place. So I'm gonna get about 4 gallons out of here. Now you guys might have to get a little bit more if your reservoir is actually full. Mine was not, because I couldn't keep it full, otherwise it would just spill over the place even more, so I had to have it low. I'm gonna pop this sucker off. It is past quiet hours, so we're gonna loosen them up. It's a good spot to hold tools, just don't forget them. Oi. Oh my goodness, did that just die? Alrighty, well, we're back. It's now daytime, yeah, because last night everything just started dying. Batteries dying and everything, and I was just like, you know what, I can do it all in the morning. So now we're back. Okay, these lines just pop off like that. That is easy. Those are just push off clips. So those seem really easy to break. He walking faster than you.
Yeah, I let him go so he can go fast.
Okay, so it's 13. Where's my coffee? Where did I set my coffee? Oh, there it is. Look at that. You have to do that when you vacuum fill the system. It sucks it in. There you go. There went our hose. If you don't put that on there, air sucks through there. So having some of these, really handy. I don't know where these came from. They might have been from some CB antennas or something. Something nice just to hold on to. Now this isn't really getting a true vacuum fill because there's going to be air pockets back there and whatnot. I didn't completely drain the system. The coolant level stayed up around in here. So when I was pulling the vacuum, actually a little bit of coolant was coming up. So we didn't do a true vacuum fill on this. This is more or less just easier to get it from the 5-gallon bucket back into the tank. Normally you would completely drain the system and then completely fill it up, making sure you get all the air pockets out. I'll simply have to, once I get driving, check the level once I stop for the day, and I have to fill it up probably a little bit from there. Since it's got a new sensor, we're just going to plug in to the new sensor. And why did I do that, might you ask? Because I knew my situation. I knew I had a problem with coolant level. I knew it was low, but it wasn't critically low. I was not overheating. I simply had a coolant leak. When it senses a low fluid level, it's going to put your engine into kind of a limp mode, not really. It just reduces your power. So when you're going uphill, it feels like you're weighted down at like 100,000 pounds. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So I took it out and duct taped it there simply to get by. That's not something you should do if you are just trying to get to your next location. You don't know what's going on with your engine. I knew what was going on with my engine. I knew what was happening here. I knew the whole situation. I wasn't risking running out of coolant, and I was watching my temperature gauge to make sure I wasn't overheating my engine. All right, so we ran out of vacuum on our system here. It is still filling by the looks of it. Nope, it is not. So we're gonna go ahead and shut that. And now you're gonna get this little bit of a mist here because a little bit more coolant sitting right up in here. So you're actually getting mist. So get another hose to actually have. You can put this and you can put it down somewhere so it's not blowing on anything that you have. I said this isn't really working that well because I didn't completely put a vacuum on it. If I had completely taken a vacuum down on the whole system, I would only do this once. Alrighty, well the truck's been running for about a month or so since I replaced the coolant reservoir. It's been running fine, no leaks. Had to fill it up once just to keep the system topped off because so you get bubbles in there, air pockets, and they slowly come up into the coolant reservoir once the engine's been running for a while. So had to put a little bit extra coolant in it, but other than that, had no issues. So hopefully you guys find this information useful. Until next time, this is Mechanical Mystery. Stay safe, take care, and I'll see you in the next video. What is it? Want you to do this stretch? That's a big stretch. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yeah. Oh yes. Need a shake? Shake. Shake. Good boy.